welcome to Maps and Coffee 2021. I'm Annalisa.
And I'm Joan. Thank you so much for listening. And this is the podcast where we explore small towns that are normally overlooked by the big cities that tend to overshadow them a little bit.
Yeah, the towns that are sometimes called flyover country or other demeaning things. We're looking at those and exploring them. So 2020 was quite a year, to say the least, but we got through it.
Barely. It was a bit of a struggle, but we did make it. We were glad to have our nice little winter break. We celebrated and all of that. So yeah, it was fun.
And so now it's been about a week into 2021. We've experienced an attempted coup.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure if 2021 is doing much better.
Right. I mean, I don't even know what to make of it. And as long as it's not 2020 part 2, then I'm fine. I saw a meme. It was like, this is December 45th of 2020. And I was like, no, I can't handle that anymore.
I do see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, there's a vaccine and people are being vaccinated. And we're also hopefully going to see a peaceful transition of power in the next couple of weeks, and so things will be changing up, and hopefully this will be all in our rear view in just a few weeks or months.
I really want to knock on wood with that, but I do see, I hope it's a bit of an upswing. We are at a crazy point in history right now, and I'm just really hoping that the old saying, things can only go up from here, is relevant. But I guess we'll know in time, fingers crossed.
So here's what's on my 2021 wish list. I would like to see this pandemic, like, over with, or at least, us recovering from it. And also I'd like to see our democracy survive into into this next year.
The regular resolutions, the things everyone has on their list. I think for me, I'm hoping to... Well, as you know, I've been applying for grad school, so we're looking to do that in 2021. Also looking to not fall down any steps in this house, because we had a bit of a scare the other day. So hand-eye coordination is very, very, very important in 2021. What else? I'm just living life. I'm just doing overall better wellness, which I think is important after 2020 that everyone sort of focus on. Just to come into this year with a little more clarity and peace of mind as best as you can.
I agree with that. I'm not sure if I'm following it. I think that, if you'd asked me a couple weeks ago, I'd be like, yeah, 2021, that's going to be my year. I'm going to be, like, so healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know about that anymore. There's still time. We're only 8 or, 10 days in, however many, 12 days.
Yeah. By the time this is aired, I'm doing my best. I mean, I got a lot of healthy snacks because I'm a snack person. But it doesn't help that your husband Seth keeps making really good pizza. And my new thing is to put honey and hot sauce on all my pizza. You guys should try it. It's so good. But oh my God, I feel so guilty afterwards. Other than that, though, I mean, I've been working on my knees because my knees are always cracking and aching, and trying to meditate more. We're going to get there one way or another.
Awesome. Did you get anything fun for Christmas, or what were your favorite gifts?
Oh man, I got so much fun stuff. I'm using this Fitbit watch now, which is really funny. It wants you to get 250 steps every hour, like just casually an hour. But because I work sitting down, I will sit for 3 hours and not even think about it, not get up and stretch. So then it buzzes me, and all my coworkers know what's going on because I just start pacing around the lobby. I just start walking around in a circle, and I'm like, well, I got to get these steps in. What else did I get? I got a bunch of new clothes I'm really excited about. Got an RPG game called Dialect from my parents and my brother. I'm extra excited about that. We got some puzzles.
Ooh, yeah, we got some fun puzzles.
We did. We got a mystery one. You have to read the booklet and then do the puzzle, but you don't know what the picture of the puzzle is. And then based on the picture, you solve the mystery. Now, I will say, ours was called Grounds for Murder, and it was about a coffee shop because my mom is the best. But then we actually solved it, and it made no sense. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to personally rewrite the ending, and then I don't know what we'll do with it. But yeah, I hated that ending.
Yeah, but like the whole experience was super fun. So thank you to our number one fan, Yvette, Joan's mom.
Thanks, Mom. Oh, you know what else I'm super excited about? I got a bidet for Annalisa and Seth got me a bidet for my bathroom here at the house. He actually installed it today.
Oh, he did? I didn't know.
Yeah, he went on ahead and installed that for me. So I'm very excited. They have opened my world with a bidet. So yeah, we got that. And yeah, it was nice. It was a nice Christmas.
Awesome. I also got a smartwatch, which I'm very excited about. It's a Garmin. And so when I do finally start being active this year, it's like I could swim in it, I could run, I could cycle, I could do all of the things, kayaking and all of the things. So I'm very excited for that. And to wear it backpacking and see how many miles I've gone or steps. So that'll be pretty cool. And yeah, what else did I get? A Roomba. That's always good. We have 2 cats and 2 dogs. So I've already experienced the benefits of the Roomba because we were eating cheese last night and I dropped a block. I dropped the block on the living room rug. And when I picked it up, there was like basically nothing on it. Like, I mean, maybe some like rug particles. But definitely like, I mean, I feel like if I had done that like a couple weeks ago, it would have been filled with pet hair.
What did you make that you dropped the cheese?
It was like a cheese plate. Like it was just straight up cheese.
I was making sure it wasn't something that you fed me. I was like, wait, what? You dropped cheese? I was like, wait, what did I eat last night? No, I didn't know about that. But I'm glad the Roomba is working out for you.
Yeah. Although it gets stuck in weird places all the time and it's constantly like not, we have to save it. Like it gets stuck at the top of the stairs or stuck under the couch. So
oh, poor thing. Also, by the time this podcast airs, you'll have gotten your gift from me. I will say I'm so agitated, but I understand it's USPS and times are hard and they're just behind. I also sent a gift to one of my friends in Florida. It just left Akron, Ohio.
Oh, wow.
I sent that in, what day was that? December 14th or 13th when we sent in our gifts at USPS, and it just left Akron yesterday, which would be Saturday from the day we're recording this. I'm taking it in stride, but maybe once your gift gets here, then we'll post pictures of it because I'm very excited for you to see it.
Oh, and your mom gave us some wonderful mugs too with the Maps and Coffee logo. But speaking of USPS, we had our Secret Santa this weekend, and it was so late because it was, you know, all of the things were delayed, but one of the girls lived like 7 minutes away from the other girl in Indiana, and I was like, well, I don't want to deliver it because what if she sees me? So I decided to mail it. It wound up in Queens, New York.
Yeah, I remember them saying that, and I was like, wait a minute, because I'm not familiar with where all the girls live necessarily, geographically, and so then when they like explained a little more that it was literally like around the corner, this year was a struggle. Christmas is busy for USPS anyways, let alone in the middle of a pandemic.
Well, and also, I mean, their funding has been stripped, not to get too political, but, you know, I have sympathy for them because I think that they are probably understaffed and overworked.
I definitely understand that. So with that spirit in mind, you'll be getting your gift tomorrow if all goes well, and then we can post what that is too, because I'm very excited about it.
So yeah, lots of super fun gifts, and another thing that I got for Christmas in that Secret Santa exchange was actually a map of the entire United States, and I can scratch off each state, and under the gold layer is each state's flower. So that's super fun, and I'm really excited to potentially go to more states that I haven't been to yet. including, and Joan doesn't know this yet, but I'm hoping to go to Montana with the friend who got me that map.
No, I didn't know that. I mean, Montana's beautiful. It's got nice mountains and all of that. And
oh, yeah. Big sky country.
big sky country. So, yeah, that would be gorgeous. But the map itself, she scratched off like a state or, no, like a whole strip of states. And it looks so pretty. We got to get a open frame for that so you can hang it up, but then also easy enough to scratch off. We should post pictures of that, too, on Instagram.
Yes, go to our Instagram. I was planning on posting that. So definitely go check that out because it is really pretty. And so in light of potentially planning a road trip, now it's hard to plan anything because we are in the middle of a panoramic right now.
A panorama.
Ma'am, we are in a Panera Bread.
That's a good one. I haven't heard that one yet.
Yes, so we are in a pandemic, so it's hard to plan any sort of travel. But we are planning that. So in light of that, I wanted to just, pick a random small town in Montana and, get a feel for it and see what's on the agenda if I do decide to go to Montana.
So we should also mention the format's about to be a little different. So for those of you listening now, instead of me doing a state and then Annalisa doing a state, we're just going to hardcore focus on one per person. So, I mean, I'm still here, obvi, but this is all Annalisa. We're just going to dive into whatever the small town is, and then next week will be my town, and we're just going to try to mix it up and do a little bit more heavy research onto these places, and we think this will help.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, if you listened to past episodes, we used to do one each, but now we'll just do one, and Joan's week will be next week. So, as I was looking for small towns in Montana, I thought what better place to start than the first permanent settlement of non-Indigenous people in Montana. It's a town called Stevensville. It's in the western part of the state, south of Missoula, and near the Idaho border. So, and when we say that this is the first permanent settlement, this actually was 48 years before Montana even became a state. Mm. So this is like pre-statehood area. And Idaho wasn't even a state either. So, I mean, this whole area is just kind of like unexplored for the most part. There's about 2,000 people who live there right now, and it's actually been growing, which is actually nice because I feel like a lot of times when we do this, we hear of small towns shrinking. So this was a nice change. It's in a part of the state called Bitterroot Valley. The original name of the town was called St. Mary's, and that's because it was actually founded by Catholic missionaries known as Jesuits. So around the town geographically, there are mountains, as you mentioned, like super beautiful, and there are also some waterways like the Bitterroot River and some creeks as well, like the North Burnt Fork Creek. And many Native Americans in the Salish tribe lived near these tributaries. According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the areas in western Montana were the last areas of the United States to be settled by white people. Native American culture survived throughout this period without influence from Euro-American culture. So, yeah, I know, it's kind of cool, right?
If only that had happened in a few other places. Anyway, that's actually very cool. And preserving their heritage and culture like that is probably that much easier for the people there because they were able to hold on to it for longer than most other places in the United States.
Yeah, because they can actually trace a lot of their ancestry then for that reason, because it's a much shorter time span from when white people settled the area. Mm-hmm. And there are, of course, Native American reservations and stuff in that area too. So that's a big reason for that. The area around Stevensville was the center of social and economic life for the Salish. And the Native American, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It looks like it's Salish, but I saw on a lot of things that they're also called they're called Flathead because that's what Lewis and Clark called them. And they're also called Salish or Salish. So I'm assuming that it's probably something closer to like Salish in terms of pronunciation.
I would agree with that assessment. I feel like you should just roll with it.
Okay. The Lewis and Clark expedition happened in the early 1800s, and after that, fur trading in the area began. By 1812, Hudson's Bay Company were in the Bitterroot Valley trapping beaver. I feel like Hudson's Bay Company like set off a bell in my head of like learning that in history. do you get the same impression?
Those random tidbits that just suddenly float back in from middle school history class. Yeah, middle school, high school history. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, it just seemed like very familiar. And then in 1820, Hudson's Bay brought Iroquois tribal members from Canada, actually, because Montana's right, it's in the very northern part of the country for people trying to imagine this geographically. It's right under Canada. And some of these Iroquois members remained, and they were adopted into the Salish tribe. The Iroquois actually introduced Christianity to the Salish, which led 4 delegations of that tribe to go to St. Louis, Missouri to request a priest to return with them. I know, I see Joan's face, and I was so surprised because I was reading an article that said that they had done that, and I'm like, why did they do that? Right. Because it wasn't explaining that Christianity was introduced to them, so they like wanted a priest. I was like, why would these people? That's like really far to travel.
And actually, I think time.
Oh yeah, especially in that time, I think people died on the journey.
Jeez, because there's no priests nearby. Well, like you said, a lot of this is uncharted territory, so I imagine it's just where's a priest that's willing to even be out that way, where it's not as settled and developed as other places. So maybe that's why?
Yeah.
I have no clue. That's crazy.
So on September 24th, 1841, Father Pierre Jean... Wait, oh my God. Okay. Father P... I don't know whether to pronounce it in French or not.
Just say it normal.
Father Pierre Jean de Smet, together with... De Smet.
Oh, I thought it was...
with his fellow Jesuit missionaries and 3 lay brothers arrived in the Bitterroot Valley. De Smet called the area St. Mary's, and they immediately built a chapel along with log cabins and Montana's first pharmacy. Again, this is 48 years before it became a state. Mm-hmm. So St. Mary's still has permanent structures that stand today, like a church called St. Mary's Mission. That was not the original from when Father de Smet got there. That one was constructed in 1866, so a couple decades later. By 1850, hostility to the Catholic missionaries led to the closure of the original mission. So John Owen moved to the Bitterroot Valley from what is now Idaho and purchased the site of St. Mary's Mission for $250. And this was the first recorded land transaction in Montana as well. Oh. Lots of firsts here. Yeah. Also, again, this St. Mary's is not the same one as the original. So yeah, those have the same name, but they're 2 different churches. So Owen renamed the site Fort Owen after himself, obviously, and his wife Nancy, who was a full-blood Shoshone, managed the fort themselves and turned it into a popular trading post. It was also a rest stop for fur trappers, traders, missionaries, and explorers. He also discovered gold in the valley in 1852, which of course led to a gold rush and settlement in the area. But Nancy died a little bit later, and John's mental health deteriorated, which led to the fort deteriorating as well. It was sold in a sheriff's auction and passed through a lot of hands, like farmers and people like that, before being donated to the Stevensville Historical Society. So you can still see it there today. A lot of the buildings are gone. Some of the original barracks remain, but mostly just like a park and some like replica buildings and stuff, or buildings that were built later. The name of the settlement, so as I mentioned, they called it St. Mary's when the Jesuit missionaries arrived. Mm-hmm. It was changed from St. Mary's to Stevensville in 1864 to honor the territorial governor, Isaac Stevens. So, yeah. Now, when I looked into present-day Stevensville, as I mentioned, it's actually kind of growing. So I was kind of surprised by that. many people are talking about how the town and the surrounding area are starting to become more populated and developed. It had just over 1,200 residents in the 1980s. That increased by just 21 people in the next decade, in the 90s. But now Stevensville has more than 2,000 people, and it's still a very small town, but it's actually growing. One writer from MontanaHistoricDistrict.com said that while it's nice to see Fort Owen preserved as a park, you can kind of see that suburbia is encroaching on the natural landscape. So that person was wondering if it will soon become like a pocket park with commercial and residential real estate around it. But as of right now, you can still kind of see the mountains from it, and it's kind of nice. But yeah, it looks like a really, really cute small town with antique shops, a place called Morningstar Caffeine and Cuisine. We always love to bring up the coffee shop that's there. So that place looked really cool. And I love chocolate. So when I saw the Montana chocolate shop, I thought that looked really good. Like, I would definitely stop there. And the whole area just looks really, really cute. Lots of other small towns because, as I mentioned, there was a gold rush. So there were quite a few other small towns that also popped up in the area. And also have like antique shops and historical districts and things like that. So a really, really cute area. I learned that the TV show Yellowstone is filmed in the Bitterroot Valley. I'd never heard of the show.
No, I was literally just about to ask what that's about. But then again, I was like, maybe I shouldn't ask because maybe that's one I should know. No, but you don't know it either?
I didn't really know it, but Kevin Costner is in it. So it must be at least somewhat not popular. Necessarily. Yeah. So anyway, let me show you a little bit of the town. And there's like a barbecue place. Ooh, Blacksmith Brewing Company. Also sounds really good. I love stopping at breweries. But yeah, there's like a main street with like a downtown district, and look at those mountains.
Yeah, that's a view.
Ooh.
I wonder if you guys do go through there on your little trip, if you can find an Airbnb there, like a cute little Airbnb. Walk around in the coffee shop. The mountains are right there. There's like a moose walking by across the street. I don't know why there's moose in Montana. I don't know why I said that, but.
Yes, probably. I didn't really think about it, but yeah, I think that there probably is. Yes, that actually already was on our mind because we had found this treehouse that I'm showing you.
That's so cute.
It's not in Stevensville exactly, but it is in Bitterroot Valley. And when I showed that to my friend, she was like, "Oh my God, always wanted to stay at a treehouse. This one's like a 2-story treehouse." She was like, "Let's book it." And luckily for us, it has some flexible cancellation policies. Mm-hmm. So again, trying to plan anything, at least last year especially. This year I can't imagine it's going to be much different. So I want to make sure that, we have that flexibility if needed, or just to move around the dates and stuff like that.
I get you. There are a few trips that I annually take, and then there are some that I just want to take, and it's just so scary to try to plan because you're like, well, I'll just plan it for way later in the year, but who knows? I don't want to get my hopes up, but either way, it's good that this particular one has flexibility. That is gorgeous. My knees would not like going up and down those steps all the time, but I mean, I'm working with it now. Totally worth it for that too. It's like out in the middle. It almost looks like it's out in the middle of nowhere. There's just a bunch of trees around it.
It does. Yeah, I mean, I think that, so it does say, I remember it said that there is like no cell service at this treehouse.
There's definitely a neighbor. There's definitely
well, this is probably on somebody's property, so they probably have their own. The neighbors would probably be the people who own it, I would assume. But yeah, I mean, it's just like within these national forests and national parks, and yeah, it's just been this whole area just seems really cool.
You do some amazing hiking.
I was thinking about hiking for sure. Mm-hmm. Have you've never been to Montana, have you? Or have you?
No, I have not been to Montana.
I know you've traveled a lot of places, so I wasn't sure.
No, that's one that I did not make a stop at, but it looks really pretty.
I've never been there or Idaho.
I've been to Idaho. while I was flying. We made a stop at Boise once or twice. So randomly, I've been to Idaho. I never would have gone otherwise.
Oh, Idaho gets a bad rap. I think it's beautiful. And it's right. So I'm going to be going to Idaho too, I think, because Western Montana is right next to it.
While you are in Idaho, you have to do me a favor.
Okay, what's that?
My Idaho request is that you get some fry sauce and bring it back, because someone told me that the fry sauce is like, they don't use ketchup mustard for their fries. They use this very particular kind of fry sauce for their anything potato, and it's supposed to be really good. It's literally just called fry sauce.
I feel like that's Utah. Are you sure that's not Utah? Because I think it's just like...
No, it's Idaho.
Okay. I mean, they do have their potatoes there, so that would make sense. No, I just thought I heard...
Idaho fry sauce.
What is it? Does it say what it actually is?
Mayonnaise, sugar, salt, paprika, ground mustard, onion powder, maybe some ketchup. Obviously, there's different ways to make it.
Well, that sounds cool.
Yeah, there's going to be different versions of it. And I'm sure, we could probably make it here. But, well, see, now I'm looking up Utah fry sauce, and it's a thing there, too.
Oh, okay. So I'm not crazy. Like, I have heard of Utah fry sauce.
No.
I wonder if they're different or if they're just so close in geography that it's the same thing.
It is. Fry sauce is commonly found in Utah, southern Idaho, and rural Oregon.
Oh,
so while you're in that region, get me fry sauce. That's because I'm obsessed with honey mustard. Honey mustard is my thing. So any sort of new sauces, I'm always down to try.
That sounds awesome. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing about your small town in next week's episode. And just exploring more small towns with you.
Same. Samesies. I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for giving us a little bit of a break. We're glad to be back. Glad to get back into podcasting. Hopefully soon we can take some trips again on the weekends. Trying to find some time in our schedules and all of that. It just got so busy around the holidays. But thanks again for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and follow. Is that a YouTube thing? Subscribe. To our YouTube channel, all of that, and email us your ideas. And don't forget, all you need for an adventure is a map
and a cup of coffee. Maps and Coffee podcast is hosted by Kelsey Joan Baker and Annalisa Richardson. Our social media pages are run by Laura Lorenz, and you could find us on Instagram, Facebook, and our new YouTube page at Maps and Coffee Podcast. And we're on Twitter at Maps Coffee Pod. Email us at mapsandcoffeepodcast@gmail.com, and you can also find all of our episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and mapsandcoffee.podbean.com.